What's up, guys? Jimmy Like Halo back again, and this time we're talking about Sonic Generations. And this game was released on the 20th anniversary for Sonic in 2011 on the 360, PS3, and PC. The version you're looking at now is the Xbox 360 version, and under backwards compatibility, you can actually play this game at 60 frames, which is so beautifully smooth on here. I believe you can do the same on PC, but either way, because the game already looks really good, and they just made it like a lot better with the frame rate, because that was probably the only issue with the game, like in its entirety when it came out. But anyway, so I'm gonna talk about the style of the game and how it works and everything, and yeah. So basically, how this game works, right? It starts out, you're living in Green Hill Zone right now, the stage, and Act 1, you play as Classic Sonic, right? And it's just 2D all the way through. And then Act 2, you play as Modern Sonic, and it has like a mix of 3D and 2D sections. So it takes like the original for the classic stages, like the game is separated into little sections. So in the first section, you have Green Hill, Chemical Plant, and Sky Sanctuary. And you play 2 acts for each of those. So the first act is always Classic Sonic, the 2D sections for all 3 of those stages, which has like a remake of the classic theme of the level. And then the Act 2 will have like a remix of the level for Modern Sonic to more fit him, with John Snow, with famously known for the adventure soundtracks, putting his little spin on them, which I love. The mixes in this game, the music in this game, the new versions of songs are so freaking good. I love them. I listen to them a lot. And also, after you beat a section, this doesn't show it. There's a boss of every section that you'll see right here, which would be the Death Egg Robot, because this is a classic section. And there's also a rival battle, which for this one is Metal Sonic. The next section you go into is like the adventure area, so you got Adventure 1, Adventure 2, and then Sonic Heroes. And then the next boss is kind of from that era with Perfect Chaos, which is from Sonic Adventure 1. And then you go to Crisis City from Sonic 06, Rooftop Run from Unleashed, and then Planet Wisp from Sonic Colors. And you have a boss with Egg Dragoon from Unleashed. And then once you get all the Chaos Emeralds, which all you have to do is go through the rival fights, you fight the final boss, the Time Eater. Because basically the story of this game, the hardly any story that there is, you are in a space-time like distortion thing, and the classic and the past and the present are merging together. So you have to fix it by getting all the Chaos Emeralds again and defeating the Time Eater. And that's basically the plot of the game. It's not super, like, crazy or anything. It's pretty standard Sonic stuff, honestly. But, yeah, there's, like, a character you save every area. So for this one, it's Tails. For the next one, it's Amy. The next one is Knuckles. But that doesn't really... They just say, like, one line to Sonic. Sometimes he doesn't even respond, and that's kind of it. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that's like the basic rundown of this game. But what I really wanted to say about this game is not really how it works or when it came out or whatever. But in the dark age of Sonic games, right? From like Shadow the Hedgehog 2005 to probably up until Sonic Colors. It wasn't until Colors that we had like an actual good Sonic game again that like everyone could genuinely agree on was good. Like people will have their favorites, like me personally, I don't even think Shadow the Hedgehog's that bad. Or like a game like Sonic 06 has good elements, even though it's really buggy and glitchy and a terrible mess. It did some serious damage to the Sonic brand, honestly. But after that, you had things like Secret Rings, which is just whatever, and the Black Knight, which is actually pretty good, especially in the music. Go figure, Sonic games always have good music. But then Sonic Colors in 2010, it's like, actually Sonic Unleashed had the boost formula. And those boosts, those daytime stages are great, right? But the freaking werehog levels, I hate. I think they're terrible. It's like a bad version of God of War. But if you like that, that's fine. Everyone has their own opinion on it. I just didn't like it. The daytime levels, though, I loved, right? So think of those daytime levels. And that's this entire game, essentially. And it's great. It works really well. And I would say this is probably my 3rd favorite Sonic game because of it. But before Generations happened, you had another boost game, Colors, which was like Unleashed with those But Unleashed had more 3D segments for those boost levels, and the 2D sections were plain limited, whereas Colors is way more 2D than 3D, which is totally fine, because it's still fun. I'd rather have a 2D section than a Werehog section anyway, so I'm not complaining. But then right after, like, the return of Sonic, people kind of called it, they had Generations. So it's like, okay, you had good game to great game back to back. It's like, things are looking up for this franchise again. And then you get to circa, I think it was 2013 or 14, with Lost World and Sonic Boom, and then everything went back to downhill again. So people were just kind of, they just didn't really know what to think of Sonic, especially because during that era they replaced the Sonic voice actors. So there were certain eras of them, right? You had the original ones with the Adventure era, which are my usual favorites, and then you had the era after that, the Dark Age, the 4Kids era, 4Kids actors as they're called, because they were contracted to do Sonic X, and then all the games, so like Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, all had those voice actors. Then up until 2010 with Colors, they replaced Sonic again, with Roger Craig Smith, which I love as an actor. He does Chris Redfield and stuff. But as Sonic, it seems kind of weird because he sounds older, because he is an older person who's voicing him. So it makes sense. And it's all pretty much personal preference. Ryan Drummond, the original, will always be my favorite. But the second one that I can't remember, Jason Griffith, I do like. And I also do like Roger Craig Smith, who said recently that he's going to retire, and then he didn't. So I don't know who's going to voice him next, if they even do, or how long he's still going to do it for. Because he still did in Frontiers and the latest stuff for all that, so I don't know. I don't mind his voice, I like his voice. Oh, and the movie voice. That voice sounds like a younger Sonic, which I'm also okay with. Honestly, most of those voices for Sonic aren't bad at all. I think they're all pretty good. But all around, this game was just very important for the Sonic franchise, because not only was it one of the best, like I said, top 3 Sonic game, 3rd best one, I'd say after Adventure 2 and 1. But, I mean, it features adventure levels, can't go wrong there. But yeah, just like perfecting the boost formula, I'd say, and just like really good level design and levels that are genuinely fun to play through, like on a lot of other games in between these weren't. So it was very, very refreshing to finally get that. But another problem with the game, besides just the 60 FPS little thing, was it's really short. I mean, a lot of Sonic games are pretty short, but this game, 2011, you think it would have been a little longer than like 3 hours? It's so short. But that's why I like replaying it, because you can just zoom through it even after immediately. It's a ton of fun to just play, so I don't know. If you prefer shorter games, if you prefer longer games, it's kind of an opinion, but I feel like if you're probably spending whatever money it costed back in the day, probably like $50, I'd say you probably want it to be longer. Although there is the challenges that you have to do one of to unlock a key in each area, but you don't have to do them all. I just like the freedom of choice. If you want to make it longer, you can. If you want to make it shorter, you still can, so I ain't complaining. But overall, I just wanted to share my opinions on this game, because it's truly one of the best Sonic games, absolutely deserves a chance, and I was about to say I recommend playing this game, because it's only, $20 on the Xbox store, right? But don't buy this, because later this year, we're getting Shadow X Sonic Generations, which is this entire game remastered, right, on all modern platforms, but we're going to get extra bonus Shadow content, and it's like a whole side campaign thing, which I think is in the Frontiers engine, which looks really cool. It looks like, from the trailers anyway, it looks like the 3D levels have more open design, so I'm pretty excited for that. But I wonder if they'll take levels from like Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Adventure 2, because they showed BioLizard, the boss, Sonic Adventure 2 from that. And they're also maybe 06 with like Mephiles boss, and Black Doom was in there too. So I don't know. Overall, we'll see. But thanks for watching my video once again. I appreciate it greatly, especially with the recent support on some of my videos. They get way more views than I thought they did, and I seriously very much appreciate it. And I'll keep making videos like these that I've been making, and yeah, thanks for watching as usual. See you later.